bano basudiri abayiwa ettaka mugundi olaba nammwe ku mawulire gammwe erinnya mutyo dijjayo agenda okulaba nga terivuddeeyo nga wavuddeyo otosipa owulidde kagamba mulimu abantu abakola ekintu kino mu butafaayo kuba ye w'amaanyi. Nedda njagala buli muntu akole ekintu mu Uganda ng'afaayo ne ku bannayuganda abalala. Kati Sudhir wane Munyonyo asseewo ekitundu kinene nnyo ekyandibadde kiriirwamu emmamba, Ssemutundu, Bumukene, kyonna kigenda kuggwawo. Kati munajjawo nga muŋŋamba tetulina mmamba fe abasajja ze tunaalya. My concern of Sudhir Rupereria dumping soil, all of you were with me during that dumping exercise. And I'm glad, actually he has all this information. Njagala oyo ayiwa ettaka mu lutobazi omunene asobola n'okupangisa biroole bino bimuyita by'Abachina ne biyiwa ettaka. Gwe njagala tusooka kuwandiikira ojje kwese weekwekera ki? Kankubuulirire wano nga mugenda mulumba w'akaato, akaato kwakwekwasa. Omuntu gwe twandirumbye yono. Nze mu ndaba yange olutalo tujja ddulwana, tujja kweyongera. Luno olutalo lwa buli munnayuganda yenna. Tebakukola ensobi, ayagala okunkola ensobi ankole. Nja kuba ndowooza ndeseewo omusika anaayongera okulwanyisa ekintu kino. Bano banjiwa ttaka, era bannayuganda njala amategeeza, bano banjiwa ttaka. Ffenna tulina beekwatako lumu bakaabirire, ne banajjayo oba mmundu oba ki tutuule wali tubakaabirire. Sebo otutta. Sudhir is doing that now.
Now we have medicine for those. Using satellite imagery we can know.
Omuvuyo oguli mu Nammangu. Ate ng'abani abaguleeta ffe abakola mu gavumenti. Tetulwana na muntu webweru nti oba wa kala ya green oba kala ya red nti osobola omukubba essasi amangu. Naye gw'olwana naye alinga ggwe.
For firewood, for timber, not for conservation.
Not in government land.
Industry.
Yes.
Wood industry.
Hey, I hope you have heard it, newsman. I like him. We shall work very close. Kati akasajja kattu kasobola okubeera mu NFA. Naye ng'ensonga zaako ntuufu. Naye katunulira ekisajja nga kisiza mu maaso gaako aga nti sirina gafa. Ova olaba ntandise okwogera ku buli bw'enguzi. Ti gavumenti yaffe erabye. Buli muntu yenna alimu. Oba munene oba mutono bwe bali mugundi mu lutobazi bonna baveemu. Bw'oyiwa ettaka mu nnyanja ffe mulya mukene oba otusazeeko. Kuba mukene wabiikira amagi waliira ng'ali awo muno mu biseera by'okubiika amagi oba omaze okuyiwawo ettaka nga talina nkonge gy'agijja. Naye mudda ku bano nabusajja bw'amaato buno bukokota mukene mungi. No, leka nkuwulire ebintu bino muno entobazi n'ebibira abasinga obirya beeyita b'amaanyi. Otegeera nti olutalo tulimu lw'amaanyi nnyo naye tujja dduwangula. Njagala oyo ayiwa ettaka mu lutobazi omunene asobola n'okupangisa biroole bino bimuyita by'Abachina ne biyiwa ettaka. Gwe njagala tusooke tukwatemu. Bano Basudhir abayiwa ettaka mugundi olaba nammwe ku mawulire gammwe erinnya mutyo dijjayo agenda okulaba nga terivuddeeyo nga wavuddeyo otosipa owulidde kagamba mulimu abantu abakola ekintu kino mu butafaayo kuba ye w'amaanyi. Nedda, njagala buli muntu akole ekintu mu Uganda ng'afaayo ne ku bannayuganda abalala, kubanga eno ensi yaffe. Bw'oyiwa ettaka mu nnyanja, ffe mulya mukene oba otusazeeko, kuba mukene wabiikira amagi waliira ng'ali awo muno mu biseera by'okubiika amagi, oba omaze okugiwawo ettaka nga talina nkonge gy'agijja. Naye mudda ku bano nabusajja bw'amaato, obw'amaato buno bukokota mukene mungi. No, bano banje wa ttaka, era bannayuganda njala amategeeza, bano banje wa ttaka. Ffenna tulina bekwatako lumu tubakaabirire, ne banajjayo oba mundu oba ki, tutuule wali tubakaabirire. Ssebo otutta kati Sudhir wane Munyonyo asseewo ekitundu kinene nnyo ekyandibadde kiriirwamu emmamba, Ssemutundu, Bumukene, kino kigenda kuggwawo. Kati munajjawo nga muŋŋamba tetulina mmamba ffe abasajja ze tunaalya, nga mugenda mulumba w'akaato, akaato kwakwekwasa. Omuntu gwe twandirumbye y'ono. Olwekyo nze mu ndaba yange olutalo tujja ddulwana, tujja kweyongera, naye mmwe nammwe mwebale nnyo okumanyisa abantu baffe. Luno olutalo lwa buli munnayuganda yenna. Waliwo bankubira esimu, naye Bukenya nga oleekaanye nnyo. Ndeekaana bannayuganda bamanye basobole okulwanyisa ekintu kino ekibi. Tebakukola ensobi, ayagala okunkola ensobi ankole. Nja kuba ndowooza ndeseewo omuseka anaayongera okulwanyisa ekintu kino. I would wish to have that report, because I'm going to fight that one until the wetland is back.
We shall give you all of the briefing, including the documentation.
But not only the briefing, because you see, this man is very funny, and he is really destroying a big chunk. I think he has about 10 acres there being dumped with soil. I want to see the directive. I want to go back and visit it and see whether he has removed your soil. And if possible, we can go with your team.
Yeah.
He had refused the Nema people to enter. Yes. My concern is in Nansana, the double taxation. No, not double taxation. You remember, this person is destroying his land, this person they are not. And I've given him some information about the Chinese who are building in the swamp with impunity. And I've given him my concern of Sudhir Rupereria dumping soil. All of you were with me during that dumping exercise. And I'm glad, actually he has all this information, even deeper than myself. I've given him information about your home. Serinya. And about Nomve.
And same thing.
Exactly. And I didn't tell him about Nomve because I was sparing him.
This man was there.
In Nomve.
We have good information.
Now, can you imagine Nomve is totally destroyed under the pretense of eucalyptus? How can a government destroy its tropical rainy forest by allowing these sharks to go and you plant eucalyptus and eventually that place becomes a freehold, and it is your land. Eucalyptus. The Ugandans should go to Busheng. And any of you, I don't know whether you have been to Busheng. They planted eucalyptus, knocked off the whole area. And now, unless you are going towards after Ishaka, and the people are migrating there because there is a tropical rainforest untouched. Now here, but that is a point of policy.
Yeah.
Which we may consider.
Eucalyptus, we no longer encourage it. Actually, we don't allow eucalyptus in wetlands. And the central forest reserves, we encourage restoration using indigenous trees. Eucalyptus should be owned by private woodlots for firewood, for timber, not for conservation.
Not in government
That's for
land.
wood industry.
Yes.
Wood industry.
Hey, I hope you have heard it, newsman. I like him. We shall work very close with you because you see, you go there, and I see a mono tree, and people are calling it a forest. But now, a forest is an ecosystem, and an ecosystem has animals, it has birds. But you go to eucalyptus, so-called forest, do you see their birds? They have gone. Animals have gone. The resistant snakes may still be there. So why are you, the educated, really destroying the uneducated? So one day we shall go together to Nombe. So, you know, when I told the NFA man he didn't come to go to Nombe again, I was trying to say, let's go and replant that Nombe forest with indigenous tropical rainforest trees. Even I wrote to him to give me some of these trees. I mentioned their names. Deflated. You know when you have a balloon blown up, then you put a small pin. Your turn.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
I totally agree, Bwana Director. I stopped on Mitiana Road at this place, in the swamp. What is it? Rubiji, as we call it. And I found a force of armed Uganda UPDF bashing these fellows who were selling pineapple and you know, Bunto. Then I stopped my car. I said, "What? There is trouble here." When I said, "What's the problem?" These are good, illegal people dealing in a swamp. Even there was somebody who had built a brick house, very small. Maybe I don't know what he was doing. So I said, don't kill these small little fish. A week later, where they have knocked off all these younger, people trying to have daily food to eat. Somebody was dumping in the same place soil. The district chairman of the district went there, and they were fighting with this man. And the man succeeded. In fact, he has an area there of about 4 acres of reclaimed land.
That's the Kumbucha group.
Maybe this is maybe another one.
Different one.
And I'm asking myself, the small mango sellers, you have knocked them off. And you're going home, some are selling some food there, you know, on the roadside food. Me, I don't eat it. They have gone. Then someone is staying. We shall visit them.
That one would be very wrong.
It is.
Yeah, that one is, we can't support it. The enforcement must be universal. Law is universal, nobody is above the law.
Absolutely.
So we entirely agree with you that we cannot have preferential. We've had the 3 operations in Rubiji where we have removed the big ones. We removed the tax park from there.
The tax park is a conglomerate of poor little things.
Also broke buildings. We broke buildings.
The building is broke.
We have broken the factories in Nema. We've broken the factories on Masakaro. This was Ice Lab. So we places of worship also, we've put them down.
Who?
Places of worship. So I know the work is so enormous that any small effort you do, it looks like a drop in the ocean because the degradation is on a different scale. It's a massive scale. So we must double our efforts. We have hope that we shall get there. We shall get there.
I want you to join me.
We shall get there.
Really, I want Nema to join me.
We are with you 100%.
I'm a bit old, but it's still strong. I want us to go together, but you know, should I say this word? Maybe you not condemn me. In the beginning, I had a massive, joining ourselves together. I loved it. But you see, when I'm there, I ask why, because I want to know. And the NFA people withdrew. They went into hiding. Yes, is that true? I've even written to them letters. Now we are going to this place. They withdrew. And I felt upset. And Nema had this lawyer.
Carol.
Is it Carol? Were you with another young man?
They would not conclude.
She's not here.
Uh-huh.
But Carol Omoro. It's called the Carol.
Oh.
Is our in-house lawyer.
You know, I like to work with lawyers to give me an interpretation of the law. When I said, please, we are going to Sudhir, etc., it disappeared.
She failed. She doesn't, she's not known if she failed. And she's also new. She's less than 4 months, you know.
Fantastic. The newer you are, the better.
Like 3 months.
Then, where were you going? Nama. And I asked Nema. That time I thought you were.
I was away.
Away.
Yeah.
There was another gentleman. What was the name?
I'm forgetting the name, sir.
Francis.
Who was acting.
I think. Francis Ogwar was acting. Yeah.
He must have been fed up with my letters because I write.
No, it is good to put it on record.
I write and I keep them so that when the day of resurrection comes, I will present them. And they say, I tried to do, but I failed.
No, we shall not fail. No, failure is not an option.
Yeah,
We
you
must
can't
win.
fail.
We must win. Failure should be an option. We shall win.
No, this can be won.
Yes, we shall
There's
win.
no problem.
Yes.
The only thing which will make us not win is if we are not truthful to ourselves.
That one we are addressing it also.
Because I want to tell you, this little time I have been here, I don't know who accesses my phone, and you hear some stupid fellow telling me, I say, you man, I'm 75. You want me to do such a thing? I have my money. I've worked so hard. What do you want? Huh? That's the extent of the matter of the people we are trying to fight.
Yeah.
And if you are not strong, you can get shaken.
True.
And I think that's the problem you have with executive director.
We shall, that one we shall sort it. That's part of the reasons why we overhaul the name. To start all over again. So it's a new page. It's a new page. And we believe that we shall make it. We shall get there. We're on track. There is full political support now for environment.
There is. There is a lot of support.
Yeah. We have been promised even a BFAP of up to around 2,000 personnel from UPDF. We cannot fail to win the war. But if we fail, we shall even not leave. This is a war that we have no choice to win.
Yeah, you have to survive.
If you lose it, we can't guarantee existence. We can't guarantee. You saw what happened in Kenya just yesterday. So it's a war we have no option to win. It has to be won. Yeah, it has to be won. Yeah. Your Excellency, if I may proceed to brief you, on the state of the environment, how we are, you already fully in the know. The situation is not rosy at all. We've lost our wetland cover from 15.5% of national land surface
to 4.
Yanziza tata kuya kokede TV. Twagala okumanya ntino twagala okubuuza ati oze mu kintu ky'okwasaganya okulwanyisa emiti okutema emiti n'okulwanyisa ekintu ky'entwazi kino ekintu kibadde okuva dda era ng'okyaliko His Excellency mu ntebe ya Vice President. Ekintu ekyo twakirabanga mu kiseera ekyo kyabeerangawo oba gavumenti erimu nkirimu tonyingirira twokwasaganya oba kino tekiri.
Kankubulire era kino kintu nakiraba dda naye nga emikono mwe kiri okukirwanyisa nze si mwendi. Natwala ne private members bill mu parliament ku Nonve nga bamaze okwegabanya Nonve batandika okusimbamu kalitunsi nengenda mu parliament as a private member sagenda ku side ya government tugiribetinga bulungi. Parliament twalimu amabaka 157 bonna unanimously bansupportinga nti ekibira kya Nonve abantu abali private babajjemu. Ne bagamba n'okugamba nti babansimba mu buti buno bwe beemolerako ne bagamba nti tusimbye emiti bya bulimba. Emiti egyandibadde gisimbibwamu gyegyo egy'enkuba. Hansard kwekiri ne badirectinga Wakiso NFA okuva ku kibira ekyo tebakivangako. Kyovula olutalo lw'eggamba luno lwe tulina okulwana lunene nnyo kuba tulwana n'abantu abatuli munda. Tetulwana na muntu webweru nti oba wakala ya green oba kala ya red nti osobola omukubesa amangu. Naye gwola naye alinga gwe kala yo ate akubuuza nako kuba wenkubuulira kati ne ku ssaawa ya leero Nomve ng'ekibira mulimu abalinamu ebyapa ate ekibira kya gavumenti tekikkirizibwamu muntu kuba na byapa. Owulidde omukulu ono kyagambye nti pulezidenti yagamba mu Sebutemba nga 2021 mulekeraawo ogaba obubaluwa aba NFA n'aba Nema obukkiriza abantu ogenda mu ntobazi ne mu bibira naye bagendeyo nakati ate oba gwe bayita fountain of honor ayogedde naye era abantu tebagendayo.
Otugenda ku kintu ky'ebibiri era kigoberera ekibuuzo ky'ebibiri wayita abakwasaganya forests mu Uganda aba NFA mukwatagane wamu bagaana okujja era n'ekintu ky'olwaniza era kibayamba era mulimu gwabwe. Kino kibateekawa okulaba nti nno gwenga abakulembera oba gwenga akwatagana nabo okulaba nti nno omulimu gw'okuprotectinga obutonde bwa Uganda.
Kankubuulirire wano aba NFA baagale tebaagala nja kusigala nga nnwanyisa okulaba nti ebibira byaffe weebiri. Oli mutuufu naye buli lwenkuwandiikira ebbaluwa nsigazaako kopi. Ekiseera bwe kirituuka ngenda zijjayo nakuwandiikira ojje tuteese ku byekibira weekwese weekwekera ki. Nawandiikira acting executive director okutuwa emiti n'emiti nenjogera amannya gaayo mu luzungu ne mu lusayansi. Nava wano naga ndi njazire jereeta by Tuesday teyajja ne tutagenda kusimba miti ajja kumbuulira ensonga eyo naye naayitawo emyaka 2-3 bwannaba nkyamulabako mu feesi bwe naddamu mukubira yaŋŋamba ti ate waliwo nti ebitundu twabigaba dda. Kyova olaba ntandise okwogera ku buli bw'enguzi ti gavumenti yaffe erabye abamu bamuli b'enguzi bali mu ffe kiringa baga nti abaki tuyita nabo bani yogera nnyo bayuda kati bano bayuda tuyita nabo bali mu ffe oluusi batukongoola nga balaba ne bagala nno olabe eyo weyepampala so ebintu byaffe ffe tubimanyi bwe tubirya. Nomve yanjigiriza kinene nnyo ku National Forest Authority. Nomve anjigiriza kinene nnyo ku ttaka okugurabinga ettaka lya gavumenti. Nomve anjigiriza kinene nti gavumenti bwetegendereze ebintu byaffe bino byonna bijja kutuggwako senga tetuboggoddeemu. Tulina okuboggolera abantu abaffe betukola nabo. Nina ebintu wano byengoberera wano ebyomunammanve maama nnyabo bw'olaba omuvuyo oguli mu nammanve ate nga bani abaguleeta ffe abakola mu gavumenti. Kinneraliikiriza nnyo okulaba nti gavumenti eno eyonoona ssente mu kuwoza emisango ate nga gavumenti yeyeeropa ate neyeewozaamu emisango. Kuba ogenda okulya National Forest Authority bagitutte mu kooti olw'ettaka eryaweebwayo Ministry ya Land era Ministry ya Land egenze mu kooti okuwolereza oyo gwe baawa ettaka Twegamba gavumenti ku side emu ewolereza omufere ate ku side endala newabirwa. Kati bonna basasula balawyers ne basasula n'obuntuntu. Bwe batuusa okugamba nti fine omusango gugisinze gavumenti nesasula. What a government! Awo ndabira nti tulina okukola ennyo okumalawo wastage of money. Nze sirabangayo gavumenti eyewabira ate neewoza ne gavumenti yemu.
Ate wange nga tugenze ku kibuuzo ekiddako ogenza okugyamu ofiisi eno Nema ebaddewo era ng'ekola emirimu naye obututumufu n'okulwanyisa ebintu by'ebibira n'ebya swamps nga tebivaayo bulungi. Katugambe nti nno babadde kyekubira oba tebalina security emala oba tebalina obulezi bumala okulaba nti nno balwanyisa ekintu kimu okulaba nti Uganda efuuka eggwanga eddungi ery'emirembe oba okufuna.
Kaakati kankuwulire ebintu byebiri muno entobazi n'ebibira abasinga obirya beyita b'amaanyi. Kati akasajja kattu kasobola okubeera mu NFA naye ng'ensonga zaako ntuufu naye katunula ekisajja nga kisiza mu maaso gaako aga nti sirina gafa oyo kamuleke. Eyo nsonga nnene nnyo. Kyova olaba bwe twagenze Nansana waaliwo abantu babajjewo abalala tebabajjaawo. Olwaki omutavaawo? Kaakati bano nva bagamba nsisinkanye omukulu wa Nema. Buli muntu yenna ali mu swamp awo mu Lubigi oba munene oba mutono bwe bali mu gundi mu lutobazi bonna baveemu. Tolekamu munene. Waliwo bendaba bali ku Sentema road awo bayonoonya olutobazi naye oli bagamba nti ye munene oyo tetumufaako. Lwaki ofa ku absolutely
fundamental factor like this.
So I have given the executive director my concerns in Luera. All of you are with me. Luera, yes. My concerns in Nansana, the double taxation. No, not double taxation. You remember, this person is destroying his land, this person they are not. And I've given him some information about the Chinese who are building in the swamp with impunity. And I've given him my concern of Sudhir Rupereria dumping soil. All of you were with me during that dumping exercise. And I'm glad, actually he has all this information, even deeper than myself. I've given him information about your home. Serinya. And about Nomve.
And same thing.
Exactly. And I didn't tell him about Nomve because I was sparing him.
No, this man was there.
In Nomve.
We have good information.
Now, can you imagine Nomve is totally destroyed under the pretense of eucalyptus? How can a government destroy its tropical rainforest by allowing these sharks to go and you plant eucalyptus and eventually that place becomes a freehold and it is your land? Eucalyptus. The Ugandans should go to Busheng. And any of you, I don't know whether you have been to Busheng. they planted eucalyptus, knocked off the whole area. And now, unless you are going towards after Ishaka, and the people are migrating there because there is a tropical rainforest untouched. Now here, but that is a point of policy.
Yeah.
Which we may consider.
Eucalyptus, we no longer encourage it. Actually, we don't allow eucalyptus in wetlands. And the central forest reserves, we encourage restoration using indigenous trees. Eucalyptus should be owned by private woodlots for firewood, for timber, not for conservation.
Not in government
That's for
land.
wood industry.
Yes.
Wood industry.
Hey, I hope you have heard it, newsman. I like him. We shall work very close with you because you see, you go there, and I see a mono tree, and people are calling it a forest. Banang. A forest is an ecosystem, and an ecosystem has animals, it has birds. But you go to eucalyptus, so-called forest. Do you see their birds? They have gone. Animals have gone. The resistant snakes may still be there. So why are you, the educated, really destroying the uneducated? So one day we shall go together to Nombe. So, you know, when I told the NFA man he didn't come to go to Nombe again, I was trying to say, let's go and replant that in Nombe forest with the indigenous tropical rainforest trees. Even I wrote to him to give me some of these trees. I mentioned their names. Deflated. You know, when you have a balloon blown up, then you put a small pin. Your turn.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. First of all, we want to thank you for welcoming us here, for giving us opportunities to interact with you, to brief you on matters environment, so that we can move together. Secondly, we welcome you into the sector and have high hopes that you will help us address the issues of the environment, because issues of environment are not only technical, they are actually political, they are economical. So we need all angles. We need all angles, technical, political. And particularly environment, you need the all dimensions needed to succeed. If I may start from the first principles, our law recognizes the environment to mean so many things. Not only forests and wetlands and water, but so many things. Our act looks at the environment to mean land, water, air, atmosphere, climate, sound, order, and taste. Biological factors of animals and plants, including wildlife and forests, and then social factors of aesthetics, health, safety, and well-being of people. And this includes human interaction with both natural and the built environment. So, Your Excellency, you are an environmentalist by profession, because I know you are a professor in public health. So you are not without information, as you want to say. You are a professional already in that area, and we think we shall benefit from you. The stress on the environment cannot be overemphasized. We all have seen what is happening in the world. If you don't focus on addressing environment issues, the country cannot develop. That one is without doubt. You will take one step forward and take 100 steps backwards. Because when the environment strikes, you can literally lose all the economic investments you have made. But also, you will not advance if you have an unhealthy population. For example, noise and air quality. These have direct impacts on human health. So the spending of government on the medical bill will be high, the productivity of the population will be low, and so you can't talk about the economic transformation of the country without environment. So environment is very, very important. Now, it's most especially in the era of climate change and development. So we are happy to partner with you, Excellency, to ensure that we win this war. The President called it a war on environment. We came up with the Kenya war plan. We came up with the Kenya war plan, which was adopted by Cabinet last year. And so this 10-year war plan is what we must achieve. We must, first of all, stop further destruction and then recover the degraded area. So we must put a stop and then make efforts to recover. Part of the problem, I think, money, those things, those will always be there. There is no government which will always have a lot of money. Even America is still looking for money. So if we wait to get the money to work, we shall never work. So we must get moving as money comes. So who are the players in the environment space? I thought we would share this one also. We have so many players in the environment space, Your Excellency. At the apex, we have National Environment Management Authority, which was created by an act of Parliament in 1995 and later 2019, with the four main functions. The four main functions of the Nema is
the one which is headed by the Prime Minister?
No, that's Policy Committee on Environment.
Okay.
So the Policy Committee on Environment is the highest decision-making organ in environment matters. So the Policy Committee on Environment is headed by the Prime Minister and has membership of several ministries as per the Act. At the technical level, Nema is the Secretariat to the Policy Committee on Environment and also directly manages four different functions. The first one is regulation, the second is coordination, monitoring, and supervision. So in other words, Nema is a watchdog, overall watchdog. But below Nema, there is what we call lead agencies. Lead agencies, these are now day-to-day managers of segments of environment. And for each segment of environment, there is a responsible lead agency. So for wildlife conservation, we have Uganda Wildlife Authority as a responsible agency for management of wildlife. For forestry, we have National Forestry Authority for Central Forest Reserves, and then Department of Forestry Sector Support, the Ministry of Water and Environment, and the District Forestry Service. That's forestry. For wetlands, we have the Department of Wetlands Management, again, in the Ministry of Water and Environment, as well as local governments and urban authorities. So, but I know, if you asked anybody in the population who is responsible for wetlands management, they will all say
Nema. Yes.
Which is one of the areas that we need to address also. Because Nema is actually not in charge of wetlands directly. Nema is in charge of all environment, but there is a dedicated institution of government responsible for management of wetlands, which is Department of Wetland Management under the Ministry of Water and Environment. Then,
can we invite
the Commissioner of Wetlands heads that department. So they are the ones in charge of wetlands. But I think because of institutional capacity issues, we have always had to come in almost on a daily basis to support them. But it is not sustainable, as we shall see later. We need to strengthen the institutional framework for wetlands management in Uganda. You will not hear people say, Nema, you are not working in the national parks. The wildlife is declining. No, you will not hear it. They will say, Uwa. For wetlands, they will say, Nema, because of the institutional weakness that we need to address. Whereas the forestry wildlife, they have designated protected areas. Another issue for wetlands is that they have for a long time been ungazetted and undemarcated. But we have sort of did that now. Last year, we finalized and gazetted all wetlands in Uganda. They are now officially gazetted. So the next step should be to demarcate them. And after demarcating them, we need to develop them for ecotourism and sustainable utilization. If you go to Kigali, they have eco parks.
Yeah.
All wetlands have been converted into eco parks because where wetland is producing value, the communities will not actually invade it. Even these encroachers will not come when the place is actively managing. So that's the issue. Now, for water resources, we have lakes and rivers. The responsible agency is Directorate of Water Resources Management, which is also in the Ministry of Water and Environment. So the Ministry of Water and Environment is not only supervising the ministry, but also a lead agency which directly implements and manages. Then for air quality...
Before you go, I will be interrupting you.
No problem. Yes.
For the swamps or the wasteland,
they used to call them wastelands.
Wastelands long time ago. Your Nema gives an environmental impact study for anyone who wants to use such areas.
Under the law, for every development that has environment impact, the law requires that you must conduct an environment and social impact assessment study. You submit it to Nema. Nema reviews it in consultation with the local government and either approves or rejects.
Very good.
So for some time, we have had an issue of factories in wetlands, industrial parks in wetlands, and so on. In August 2021, Cabinet made a resolution and the President issued a directive to stop further issuance of impact assessment certificates in wetlands.
Very good.
The President only exempted public infrastructure,
roads,
levees. So effective 2nd September 2021, and that was my first day in office. It was my first activity in office actually. 2nd September 2021, Nema suspended indefinitely issuance of environment and social impact assessment certificates for any activity in wetlands. So there is a blanket ban. Apart from public infrastructure, nobody from 2nd September 2021 gets a certificate for development in wetlands. However, before that, there were certificates, like we talked about Sudhir in 2006. There were certificates before that which were issued. Nama Industrial Park, for example, there are certificates. Bali Industrial Park, there are certificates.
Sudhir, the certificate of 2006 was not in view of the new development where he's dumping soil. Where he's dumping soil, there was a person who owned that land and he sold it to Sudhir, the swamp. So Sudhir actually came in after the presidential directive.
The ban on wet
Yeah,
lands.
and he's dumping.
That would be an illegal activity.
Yeah, but we cannot continue sitting in good places and say that is an illegal activity.
I think
How can we turn
it was stopped.
who?
We stopped it. We have even issued the restoration order. We have response, of course, they are still.
Kenya lives a kilometer from a natural tropical rain forest. In fact, it's our community forest. I can go there and wait for firewood. Like when I was a young kid, I didn't have these machines. I would go there and, look for some medicinal plant. Then suddenly, he is. So he is actually where you belong. Because there is a swamp. I even went to the river. And he has claimed this, he wanted this land to plant trees. Afforestation, there is not a single tree except I saw about, are they called the trees, is cassava. The cassava, is it a tree?
No,
Uh-huh. Those are the ones I found.
those can be shrubs.
But now, he's always prolonging the agony in court. Why do you prolong an agony with government? You know, for me, when I was still a ruffian in the government, I would just say, no, this is not. Quit. This is, yes. But can we visit there to review?
Yeah, we can. But I think this one is outside the industrial park we are talking about. The industrial park is government land.
No, I know.
Titled
By the way,
under UIA.
at the time it was being passed,
You were
I was in government.
Yeah.
I even drove around that whole area, and I passed. I'm the only one of the few who did not apply for
For
those
land.
allocations. Maybe
This one is out, we shall
this one is a bit
separate.
outside. Yeah, but you can see government by statement are wonderful. Government by implementation terrible. Whom to blame? Is it the so-called investors, or is it we?
All of us.
Eh?
All of us. It is we and them. They are not innocent either, neither are we
No. We are more
to blame.
more to blame than them, I think. Not allowed to enter.
Your Excellency, all the sites which you visited with us, compiled a report.
I would wish to have that report because I'm going to fight that one until the wetland is back.
We shall give you all of the briefing,
Uh,
including the documentation.
But not only the briefing, because you see, this man is very funny, and he is really destroying a big chunk. I think he has about 10 acres there being dumped with soil. I want to see the directive. I want to go back and visit it and see whether he has removed your soil. And if possible, we can go with your team.
Yeah.
He had refused the Nema people to enter.
Your Excellency, we have so many cases of that nature. Nema, with that wide mandate, until July had 100 staff, including drivers, secretaries, accountants, and there was zero enforcement, zero in terms of enforcement, zero. So we are building enforcement arm now, and the initial staff who have been recruited are now 40, effective July. The president has allowed us to start our own force, internal force. And Major Karamaj is the initial, that is the initial lot. They are in office for less than 6 months now.
Okay, but you are very lucky. You have 100 people. I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
100, Your Excellency, to manage Uganda is a big job.
But I'm dashing all over Uganda. and before, you don't actually need to come to Namayumba. The culprits are here seated with us in Kampala. The culprits are seated here in Mukono. When I mention Nema, you will say, hey, Mugana, there is a trouble. The culprits are seated here before Ampiji.
Yeah.
They are seated before Kachiri, no Hoima. And when people see visibility of somebody even trying to fight the district chairman, when you go to Kasanje, you find there that to enter where they are mining, you need to be very forceful. So why don't we start where it's huge? Instead of coming to my village and someone is planting a ntula in some place which is wetish, and it's wet because there are so many of those who walk around there.
Yes.
You're planting, this. What is ntula in English?
Eggplants.
Eggplant is birenganya. It's a bigger one. You know these, but I'm sure you eat them.
Yeah, yes, I do. I do.
You disturb those who are useless.
The mokene, as they call it.
Yeah. You disturb a mukene instead of disturbing a huge.
Your Excellency, it is true. Those accusations have been there of mokene, but the mokene should not confuse you to say they are also safe.
No.
Because the law looks
No.
all people who are in breach.
I totally I totally agree, Bwana Director. I stopped on Mitiana Road at this place in the swamp. What is it? Rubiji, as we call it. And I found a force of armed Uganda UPDF bashing these fellows who are selling pineapple and Bunto. Then I stopped my car. I said, "What? There is trouble here." When I said, "What's the problem?" These are good, illegal people dealing in a swamp. Even there was somebody who had built a brick house, very small. Maybe I don't know what he was doing. So I said, don't kill these small little fish. A week later, where they have knocked off all these people trying to have daily food to eat. Somebody was dumping in the same place soil. The district chairman of the district went there, and they were fighting with this man. And the man succeeded. In fact, he has an area there of about 4 acres of reclaimed land.
No. The Kumbucha group.
Maybe this is maybe another one.
Different one.
And I'm asking myself, the small of mango sellers, you have knocked them off. But you're going home, some are selling some food there, you know, on the roadside food. Me, I don't eat it. They have gone. Then someone is staying. We shall visit there, my.
That one would be very wrong.
It is.
Yeah, that one is, we can't support it. The enforcement must be universal. The law is universal, nobody is above the law.
Absolutely.
So we entirely agree with you that we cannot have preferential. We've had the 3 operations in Rubiji, where we have removed the big ones. We removed the tax park from there.
The tax park is a conglomerate of poor little things.
It's government, yes. Wildlife Authority.
Who gives away? I don't leave the Wildlife Authority. In these forests of yours.
The Central Forest Reserves.
Who protects?
NFA.
Government.
Government. Yes.
Who gives away?
It's also government.
What?
Government is supposed to...
You can see that actually the government is the one destroying.
I think it may be an issue of implementation and supervision, because government cannot permit you to cut the natural forest which was there to replace it with plantation forest. That one, there is nothing like that in government policy.
Then
So that's now failed implementation of government policy. So it's now not government.
I like his idea.
That's failed implementation.
But failed implementation of government. From Uwende towards Fort Portal, you reach an area of really thick tropical rainforest. You don't need an air conditioning.
Yes.
It's beautifully cool.
Yes. Yes.
But you drive through these Kalitunsi.
And the pine.
Yeah, and the pine, and it's so hot.
Yeah. Because their nature is real. They are
And,
food production.
And one day I would love to find out who have been allocated to plant Kalitunsi instead of the natural forest. Who are they? Because now they're also taking the land. They're taking freehold. Who are these?
As far as I know, the collaborative forest management policy is meant to be like this. Because NFA has limited capacity, I can give you an example. NFA has about 300 staff to manage 506 central forest reserves. You have 300 people, including drivers, secretary, accountants, 300 to manage 506 central forest reserves. So even if you were to send each person, one person per forest, you will not cover the number of forest reserves in Uganda.
But you also have forest people at the district.
They are one person, forest officers and without any facilitation.
But
so they wouldn't manage.
But for me, my brother, I go to Budongo, I pass Budongo.
Budongo is a bit different.
It is still there.
Budongo is a bit different because it is co-managed between NFA and the Uganda Wildlife Authority. And because it is a dual management area, there is military protection. Our rangers are protecting it. So the idea of collaborative forest management came in to help where NFA cannot be. You put Akankwasa, but Akankwasa should plant trees where he's going to benefit as an incentive for him to engage in that investment, but not to replace natural forest. These are supposed to be bare central forest reserves. Bare.
How can it become bare?
We have several, including here Nakawa. Nakawa itself is a central forest reserve where NFA is situated, but there is no forest. Because the central forest reserve is declared by Parliament as land set aside for forestry. So you can have actually a central forest reserve without a tree. But it is still a central forest reserve because it is land declared by government for forestry. So those were the ones supposed to be used for commercial forestry. not replacement of natural forest. That's a
Bwana,
yeah.
we can go with you to Norway. You can find there rotting stumps of big trees which have been replaced by eucalyptus. You find there people of freehold titles in a protected government.
Yes, we have mapped, Your Excellency, over 3,000 land titles in the forest reserves and wetlands. And they may be more than that.
Why
So
can't?
that's a massive problem.
Yeah, because you see, the issue titles, the titles get destroyed, they issue other titles, and the president has put a
In moratorium.
moratorium not to use anything like that. Why don't we go a step further and write a cabinet memo?
Cabinet already considered these titles, Your Excellency, in 2000.
I know. Yes.
Some time back.
And that's when the president directed it to...
Cancellation.
Yes.
The cancellation commenced, but the speed of cancellation has not been to our expectation. The speed is too low. When we ask Minister of Lands, they tell us when they initiate, people run to court and put embargoes. Some of them you have shown me.
Yes.
So there is still some challenge there, which we have to address as a government. All titles have to be cancelled.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why should we have a title in a wetland or a central forest reserve?
Yes, sir. Why?
The maps are clear. The cadastral maps are clear.
Yes.
It cannot be lack of information. It cannot only be corruption. There
It's
has
a
to be
collusion.
lack of information. It cannot only be corruption. Yeah. So I think those are some of the issues we wanted. I should brief you on Namanve. So Namanve, as you already aware, was set aside by government. They degazetted the Central Forest Reserve, which had a forest as well as a wetland.
They did not degazette the whole area.
No.
They
degazetted
partially
the part,
degazetted.
Yes. So that part was for industrialization. But effective September last year, we had a meeting with the president, and the president guided that those who have not yet built should not build as of September last year. Those who have already backfilled and built, those should continue because they were given land by government. They were given leases by industrial investment authority. So those should continue. So we do not now permit new developments in the remaining intact wetlands in Namanve Industrial Park. So the president already stopped that. So Industrial Park, we have also now stopped, apart from those who had already started by September 2023. So that's the situation for Namanve. So we have to continue surveying Namanve as well to ensure that no more destruction.
Theoretical position of Namanve.
Not theoretical, Your Excellency. We have a map for the industrial park. We have, immediately after the meeting with the president, we mapped the area so that we know those who had already backfilled by September 2023 as a cutoff. Those who had not yet backfilled will also have the titles. So even if you backfill at night, as they always do, people backfill at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
I know.
You wake up.
Sudhir is doing that now.
Now we have medicine for those. Using satellite imagery, we can know when you backfill. So we can track backwards up to 1960 to see what the land was. Now,
Mm.
for the case of Namamve, we even did actual mapping, not satellite imagery, actual mapping. So if you come and you tell us you now have a leveled land in Namamve, when it was not leveled as of September 2023, we still will not permit you. It will be an illegal development. So we have medicine for those who dump at night.
You know, do you know I'm looking like this at you? Totally frustrated.
The frustration is
Because,
will be there,
because what you are
Excellency.
saying, I am looking at it, and when you go there, I don't know when you last visited, you'll find a different story.
Namamve, Industrial Park.
You'll find a different story from what you are telling.
Where we are regular visitors in Namamve.
If you are regular,
We even have
do you know where this?
permanent attached.
Do you know where this man is? The one I showed you a piece of paper.
But I need to check the map to locate his place, whether he's
This
in the
man-
Industrial Park or
This
not.
man has neither built nor leveled, but he has put a very big signpost, private property. No, don't trespass. I did the trespass because I wanted to be prosecuted and taken to court. Anyway, I did. He's playing with the court and the land. Absolutely.
Media is a very fundamental factor in this.
So I have given the executive director my concerns in Luera. All of you were with me. Luera.
Presentation that I made somewhere that you can have it. Good news, certainly. Forest cover in 1900, 45% of Uganda was covered with the forest.
Absolutely.
In 1900. This was lost up to 90% in 1990. Can you imagine?
Yes. Yes.
From 45 to just 9%.
Yes.
We almost ran out of forest.
And then now?
There is good news. The trend is improving, but the trend which is improving is largely on account of exotic tree planting, pine, eucalyptus, by individuals. The forest cover now is at 13.
Nga ka business kagudde n'ateekawo akatandaalo n'ojja n'obutemaatema n'obugyawo olwo n'olaga omuntu nti okoze.
See if I have left out. Yeah, the other one were specific issues. Refugee. Yes, I need to talk about refugee. What happened? The marking. We have held, we have had 3 operations in refugee. Every time we remove people, after 3 months they come back. So from 2022, restoration orders were issued across refugee, which covered the area which was occupied by Buchamani group. There was an area which had been taken over by Buchamani group. It is called Navisaslo part. And then we issued also restoration orders in the Nansana area and this other place is called what? As you go to St. Now, yes. Now, in 2023, we issued the further restoration orders there. Now, before we conduct the operation which is coming, because the president has directed that we must clean refugee, we did reconnaissance and realized that over the people who had gotten restoration orders, we have now new people. We have new people who have come up.
Some are actually building.
Now, Those who are already inside the wetland, where we had already issued restoration orders, those are not the ones being marked. Maybe you can add those marked are the identified new, I think, identified the new ones who are supposed to be added on the 2022 and 2023 restoration orders. So it's not that those who are marked are the only ones who are going to be removed. That's not true. But of course, I know, you know, in enforcement, there are always two sides to each story. When somebody brings you a story, you have to take it with half truth until you get the other story. Because they are very cunning, they will always hide behind selective eviction to evade eviction. That has been a challenge that we get on everyday basis. You will also find the people who have land disputes who become whistleblowers so that you help them to solve their land dispute, hiding behind the environment. There is also that angle. Then we have also the angle of extortionists who come to say there is environment degradation here, so that the other person can call them to say, please don't push this case, get something. So we also have that category. It is a complex circle of things. Now, the syndicate goes like this. The big people will use the small people, who we call Mukene. So the Mukene will go there, start putting Kasasiro, slowly. They put slums, slowly. They put a market. They put stores. That is now soft entry. But behind the big community, there is a big person behind. So the soft entry comes, the people who call themselves small people in the courts, they occupy. After some time, they start building makeshift houses. After some time, a big man now comes and purports to buy them off.
Yeah.
And then they are bought off, and then the big man comes and establishes. So the small people are not entirely innocent,
No.
as they want to portray themselves, but certainly selective enforcement, we can't be part of it. It is totally wrong. Selective enforcement is totally wrong. So that's the issue of Rubiji. The markings which they are talking about are not the only people who are going to be demolished. No. Those are new entries. Those are new entries. But we have 2022 and 2023 restoration orders already issued, and they know. They know. So they are just pulling a political card. But I think we should stand united and we remove everybody. We remove everybody.
That's it. You just remove everybody. Not this Mr.
No,
Not
they
that one.
remove this one and this one. We can't be part of it.
No, then I can invite you to go to this national area. In fact, it is in national. It's called the Nabweru.
Nabweru.
The place is in Nabweru. Nansana is so huge. We can go together.
Yeah.
Because I said, for me, I will not allow any discriminate destruction.
We can't.
I can only allow.
Leave others.
No.
On that one, we are together 100%.
And the other is the place where you want to remove people is very complex. The people are using Starbucks as a place which you are not touching. That's why I asked him, no, I cannot say. I want to know where does this swamp begin? Where does it end? And I think I asked my brother there. I said, if you had a map of the swamp, it would have been much better.
No, we have.
Well, we didn't have it then.
Yeah, we can generate one.
Because when we generate, there was a man there who had the 1970 map. I don't know where I got it from. And I discarded it. I said, no, I don't want to see it even. Because if you know, people, if you explain people, they understand. If we have a map there, and it is made easier by saying the road, Nabwe Road passes here. This is where you are. The swamp area passes here like this, and it is understandable. Then our work will be easy. I don't think it is politics. It is explaining.
Your Excellency, we also have other cases where you will find somebody has a land title predating 1995. Now, we put the question to Attorney General, and the Attorney General advised the government as follows. People who have land titles in the wetlands before 1998, the titles remain valid and they are bona fide occupants of those lands, provided the development is regulated by government. So you may have a title in a wetland, but the use of your title in the wetland should be subject to government regulation. So even if you have a land title in a swamp, it should not give you permission to pour soil there. Government can guide you on the use of that swamp, maybe through fish farming or other sustainable methods. Now, people with land titles after 1998, and the logic is 1998 is when the Land Act was put in place. And within the Land Act, that's where government prohibited the land registrar from issuing any title on wetland, forest reserves, river banks, and lake shores. So that is in the 1998 Land Act. So any land title in a wetland, lake shore, or river bank after 1998 is impeachable. We can impeach it. It is for cancellation, in other words. Yeah. Apart from their uses, for example, lake shores and river banks, we permit recreation facilities.
Yeah, but you see, for me, when you talk like you are talking, you make me happy. But when I go to where you are talking, I become unhappy. If that is the case, then why don't we enforce? Why don't we enforce what you have just said? If that is what should be, why should someone dump soil in the lake? Not even soil, because the soil, but marram, which coats on the floor, and that becomes a dead area of the lake. You know, the lake one, when I used to be in WHO, World Health Organization, I was in Brazzaville area, and there was I think must have come from Malaysia. You know, they would come in the total the Afro region, and he said to me, Gilbert, when you write your books, they are fantastic. But when I go there, I don't see. I'm a Philica. We write beautiful things.
But put them in a...
But when you go out, they're not there. Like You know, they told me you planted 1 million trees. Take me there. I want to see where these 1 million trees are. There was none, except counting that the president went to this school and he planted 3 trees. Then he went somewhere, he planted 1 tree. And then speaker went, and then you do an addition on the 1 million trees.
In fact, we have a program, Your Excellency, of 40 million trees per year. The idea is that at least every Uganda plants 1 tree.
Yeah. But you see, that's how this Malaysian doctor, a friend of mine, was abusing me actually. You write so beautifully, but when I go to see, it's nothing.
Your Excellency, the issue of written policy and on-ground situation is a matter that we can discuss for a long period. There are so many factors, very many factors. I've just given you one factor of NFA having 300 staff to manage 506 central
Then put it in your report.
It is there.
No.
It is there. We have a 10-year restoration plan discussed
No.
by cabinet, adopted by government.
I have no report I've had on NFA which indicates we failed to do this because of lack of staff. What I have seen, we failed this because of financial constraints. But even they don't say failed. This was not achieved, but we successfully achieved it to 70% for financial reasons. That's all. It means nothing. It worries me because you just mentioned Rwanda.
Yes.
I was in Rwanda a year after their war. Not even a year, even when they killed each other. I went through Mutukula to that end. That time I was still medical. It was such a terrible little place. And I couldn't even stay there for 3 days. Then I went to Rwanda because we were trying to start the university. It was an American university. And I went for fact-finding. The place was organized, really organized, but not well developed as it is now. Then I went to Rwanda about a year and a half ago. When I came back here, I said, when I was obusajja butusinga. Butusingira ddala. In every corner, they put in the emphasis. There are not so many. There are few. But they are strict on the truth and determined to do it. Here we are strict on telling no, and then not doing anything. Look at their road network. I know I used to go there and pass through potholes. You could even hit somebody walking on the pavement. Man. Look at their forest as you're driving from Katuna. You go on that road almost up to their city. It's cool. And they are not Kalitunsi. And they came from here, most of them. They copied the right and they copied away the wrong. They throw away the wrong. True. In fact, you know, I don't know how many Ugandans don't marvel Rwanda. I really marvel it. You go to their Kigali, you know, trees, flowers, discipline, no one is parking on the pavement. The border are strictly driving. When they reach traffic lights, they stop. And until the traffic lights allow them, then you continue. But here, even when there's a policeman, the border just and it goes away, and the policeman is looking. Yeah.
Here there is a culture of, do I call it excess? There is a lot of there is excess freedom, I think.
No, that's not excess freedom.
It is excess freedom.
No.
Misguided
Need the civil.
freedom.
No. That's not excess freedom. That is lack of discipline, law, and order. You know, I go to the States, studied there. If you are on an intersection and I'm driving that way, I will stop. There's no policeman. Even this one driving that one will stop. Then this one driving that one until one is allowed to go. Then the rest go. Is there no freedom in America? But this is discipline and self-respect. I want to thank you very much, very much for coming. You have made me, because of what we have discussed. And I was looking at your face. You don't have a withdrawal syndrome.
No, we cannot withdraw.
No, don't say no. I have been here with your people of Nema. This is not the first time. They have withdrawal syndrome. And you know what it means? Calculated information dissemination. That's what they call withdrawal syndrome. So this one I can say. This one. I went to safeguard my job. So I cannot say this.
If we don't say the no, else will say
And you know, I look at them, luckily these fellows put me in this chair when I come. I look at them. Even before they talk, they are looking for either the boss or who. Please, Ugandans, we have to stop that and be like a Kankwasa. Because this is our country. Maybe you may not be traumatized, but your children and grandchildren will be traumatized. Our carbon up there is destroying our climate.
Well,
Your capacity to get oxygen into your body is being reduced. And when you are in the city of Kampala, when all these cars are, discharging out carbon monoxide, goes in your body, it attaches to red blood cell permanently. So you said. So I don't see why Ugandans should not fight to people a forest that takes away carbon dioxide to itself and gives you oxygen. You know, when you go to this place, Chitetika, where you're dumping all the cities.
Chite's landfill.
Chites.
It is condemned already.
But it's condemned and every day they are throwing new rubbish. What is the condemning?
It has reached its maximum capacity. We condemned it officially. It's not licensed. It is an illegal establishment.
Can we go right now and see how many trucks?
I am aware, Your Excellency. The problem is KCA project of Dundu stored. They are saying they don't have.
No, if they don't have.
So they are stuck. They are still using
No.
above its capacity.
Yeah, but also not only above its capacity. If you're about 2 kilometers before you reach Kitezi, what do you smell?
There is serious stench.
You smell methane because it is being generated from that area. So all the population around there,
Are exposed.
they are smelling methane, they are inhaling methane. Methane breaks down in carbon monoxide, gets attached to their red blood cells, and I pity them. If they get anemia, they just kick the bucket. And the government is here under you, Mr. Kankwasa. Because what we can do initially, if they have no money, you get graders and these, what are these machines that press? Go and press that biodata, get some maram, instead of piling it in the lake, cover it. Reduce the generation of methane and let our people live. Otherwise, you go to Kitezi, don't stay there for 2 days. You will endanger your life. And yeah, I'm supposed to be writing to City Council so that with Nema as well.
Yeah, we've written to them
we'll go to
several
details.
times, even officially condemned, but they are stuck.
No, they
are
cannot
stuck.
be stuck.
They are stuck in terms of getting alternative.
Yeah, they wanted to go to Trantibo, yeah. But they can get a place where can do landfill. It's cheaper to do landfill than going to to do biodigesters, getting whatever gas
They
from.
had gotten some investor, I'm told, who had even assessed that project, I think, maybe this for power generation. Wanted to do power generation, but the price into the grid was too low because we already have excess hydro, so the economics didn't add up.
But we can, we can do a landfill temporarily until such a time when you can
Use it for value addition.
Yeah, otherwise you're killing people.
Yeah,
The younger children are eating buvera there.
true. And there are so many waste pickers there, opening the waste actually, pick plastics and whatever, metals for sale.
By the way, they are picking plastics,
Yeah.
bottles,
Yes.
very many.
And they make the situation even worse by
Opening it up.
say,
Oh, thank you very, very much, and my colleagues. Don't worry, you didn't give you to talk, but you have absorbed our frustrations and so on. People of the press, you want to ask a question? Yes.
Yes, thank you. I have like a quick question for more. One, Mr. Idi, you pointed out the issue of the staff. So yeah, you know how many people do you need to effectively do your work.
Continue.
Then the issue of management guidelines. You asserted that Nema is not directly concerned.
No, not directly in charge of management.
Concerned.
Concerned we are concerned.
What do you mean by directly?
Direct management,
Yes. What do you mean?
day-to-day management of the wetland. On a routine, enforcing the boundaries, surveying the boundaries
Routinely.
of the wetland, and ensuring that whoever goes there has permission. The one who
And then
doesn't
the
have
usage.
permission doesn't go, and then permitting usage.
Good.
So what's the question?
When you issue the permits, do you contact the people of the
Don't you think you are carrying a force that does not belong to you? Because if someone is concerned,
I will respond to that.
if someone is concerned for surveillance, between surveillance,
Actually, management.
How
The
come
whole
that
cycle.
it is another body issuing permits?
Okay, I will answer that one.
Then, another question, what is the possible budget, let's say per year, you need? Because Ugandans want to see wetlands or the management
Of environment.
Yes.
Our staffing needs, the ideal would be 2,413.
2,000.
413. Our current staffing levels, as of today, we are 219. 219. You can compute the percentage. Just to give you a comparison, let me expound this point because it is very critical. By comparison, you have heard about Uganda Wildlife Authority.
Yes.
They are in charge of 10 national parks, 13 wildlife reserves, and 10 community wildlife management areas, which is a total of 9% of the land surface of Uganda. They have staffing levels as of now of 4,000 staff. They are in charge of just 9%. And the 9% is forested and the boundaries are marked.
Clear.
So they are clear, there are no interferences. But they have about 4,000 staff. So, and if we are comparing performance, wildlife is still performing well in the environment. It is the most performing in terms of protection because of in-house enforcement capacity. They have a dedicated force where you can hire and fire. If somebody is compromising, you fire them. So that's the difference we have. But we shall get there now that the law allows us to establish Environment Protection Force under Section 25 of National Environment Act 2019. We are allowed to establish a force to enforce environmental laws. And that force we have started. Of the 2,000 we need, we have 40, but we are leveraging the support of sister forces, the police and the army. So as we build our own capacity, we have to continue leveraging the available resources. Management of wetlands. Why does the one who manages not also issue the permits? Now, there is what we call regulatory best practice. Regulatory best practice, the regulator does not manage. When you manage and regulate yourself, you will have fused now the functions. You can't regulate your own self because you are inherently conflicted. So that's why the regulator is supposed to be different from the manager. You cannot find the National Drug Authority selling drugs at the same time, or running a hospital, or supplying medicine as national medical stores. That would be a breach of regulatory best practice.
But I quoted you a moment. I quoted you saying that there is a mistake that must be corrected.
Which mistake?
You didn't understand.
A misfit.
The misfit, I would say, is really institutional capacity.
You were denying the responsibility of wetlands being back of you.
Not at all. The wet,
Yes.
I have read for you
So
that
you say
wetland cover
there is a
has
problem.
reduced from 15.5% from 1990 to now 13%, and intact is only 8.9%. So there is a reduction, and so there is degradation.
No, the issue is on environmental management. That's why I want to get clarification.
The issue of
You say you brought a point saying that there is a department, I should call it, in the Ministry
yes.
of Water.
Yes.
That is supposed
It is not supposed.
manage
It is in charge.
in charge.
It is in
But
charge.
we see it being very idle, and you are very active issuing permits in destroying, plotting this.
No.
wetland.
got facts mixed up. First of all, first get it right, that effective September 2021, government suspended issuance of permits in wetland. That's when you have to have. So there is no more issuance of permits. Let's start from there.
So what is the
Wait,
role of the ministry?
wait. I'm coming. Be patient. So from 2nd September 2021 to date, there is no issuance of permits because there is a moratorium, there is a ban. Okay? So whether Nema or ministry, nobody can issue a permit now because there is a ban. But of course, there are previous permits which were issued in the past because the ban only started 2nd September 2021. So previously, the certificates were being issued. And that's why we have industrial parks, for example, because by that time, government was not so keen about wetlands, but government is now keen about wetlands and the environment generally. And that's why there is a suspension of issuance of permits. So your question of where the problem is institutional capacity of the agents responsible for wetland management. It's a government department. If you compare with, for example, Uganda Wildlife Authority, it's an authority, a fully-fledged authority. If you look at NFA for forests, it's a fully-fledged authority. We need a fully-fledged authority in our view. This is my personal view. We need a fully-fledged authority for management of wetlands. That's my view. Because wetlands, the rate at which we are losing it, if we do not create a dedicated agency that is in day-to-day in charge of boundary opening, boundary surveillance, sustainable development of the wetlands into eco parks like Kigali has done, it is going to be difficult because you cannot police every inch of wetlands in Uganda and manage it. You can't be everywhere. Even if we had 10,000 staff, we cannot place every staff on every wetland. It's not possible. So the medicine is develop it into sustainable utilization, ecotourism, birding. Now once you have business, active business, the approachers cannot bring soil and put it there. And we tested this model in the wildlife sector where I came from. We did the research in the Bugindi Penetrable National Park, where you had active gorilla tracking tourism, illegal activities in the national park drastically reduced. And the logic is simple. Nobody wants to go where they will see him when he's committing a crime. So when you are actively having tourists moving around and communities are also getting benefits, there is no way they will allow an encroacher to come there, whether they are benefiting. We have a model in Bigodi wetland, strong enough to manage the wetlands the way we manage our national parks, for example. That's what I meant, that we have institutional capacity issues there. The budget. Our optimal budget as Nema, I have the figures, but to me that's not the issue. Nema alone cannot deliver the environment.
But you champion.
Yes. A watchdog can only generate about 12 billion now from non-tax revenue. That's what we generate to government consolidated fund. But this one can increase if we are incapacity. If we are given more capacity, we can create more because we can impose resources we have. That's why we are leveraging police capacity, leveraging UPDF capacity. Because this is already there, the government is already paying them. Why can't we start from the institutions that we have? As we look for money, we can't get money. We shall continue moving.
Thank you very much.
You are arrested.
I will instigate an arrest for the one we issued, as well as the one who has
it. Big bang.
Is that so?
The untouchables, you can manage it. For us, we can do the technical and the so together when we combine the big bang and the technical bang, we can.
The enforcement is not a problem. there are roadblocks of people earning money.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, well,
So the enforcement has the problem.
we are going to fight them.
Yes, you excellent.
Because there are some roadblocks are 3 now. Nakasongola, somewhere there, they don't do carry to